Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting with Denise Cambiati, the visionary founder of Muscle Tuners International, who is revolutionizing health and wellness with her innovative approach to self-care. Denise is passionate about empowering individuals to enhance their health anytime, anywhere, no equipment required. How are you doing today, Denise?
Oh man, I'm so happy. We're getting near the end of the year, and everybody I'm talking to has great positive energy.
Yeah, it really rubs off, doesn't it? It's kind of bringing the whole year to a head. You kind of feel good. Everybody else is feeling good. Well, a little sick. I'm 95% good. 5% head cold. But other than that, I can't complain. So awesome. Where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
I'm located just outside of Vancouver, Canada, on the wet coast, I like to call it.
Yeah, I like that. I haven't heard that before. Are you a lifer? You been there forever? You new to the area?
I grew up here. I moved away. I moved through most of all of Canada, including the far north. So think about Alaska, pretty much equal to that. And now I'm back here.
Okay, awesome.
Back in, yeah, I love Vancouver. I love my home. My office, I'm looking out, there's a ravine, there's gigantic cedar trees there, birds, wildlife, and 20 minutes from where I live, I can be walking beside any of three rivers or in about 40 minutes be on a mountain.
That's awesome. Yeah, I live in the Great Plains, so it's flat. We got flat. We got flat in spades. But anyway, so I've never been out there. I've never been up that way. What do you recommend people do if they come to visit?
Oh, I absolutely adore the Vancouver Aquarium, and there are just so many great walks and places to go. It's just really hard to pick any one thing. It's depends what you're into. There's a little bit for everything. We're not as busy as our big sister in Toronto. Live there too. So you'll find that things quiet down quite a bit at night for the people that are really looking for a huge nightlife. But if you know where to look, you'll find it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I love places that are real rural and natural to where or you're next to it, so you can go a couple minutes out and be away from stuff, which is really cool. So awesome. What can you tell us about Tuners International? Tell us about what you're doing and everything.
Sure. So, a long time ago, I walked into a chiropractor's office because I had a neck pain that I had to get rid of. Uh, it wasn't going away on its own. Pain relievers weren't working. I'd had headaches for well over a year and finally went, gee, I wonder if the pain relievers, maybe aren't really the best plan. And I wasn't into any natural approaches at all then. And I went in, had an assessment done by his assistant where she did this crazy thing I didn't know was called muscle testing. And 1 second, this arm is strong when she pushes on it a little bit, and this arm isn't, even though she's pushing just a little bit. And it was mystifying. Went to see the chiropractor. He says, everything you've got going on in your body, they're all connected. And I'm thinking, you're a wackadoodle because, I've got headache, neck pain. I've got recurring constipation type digestive issues, stuff like, a lot of North Americans. And he said, they're all connected. And I'm going, what? Anyways, he did a little adjustment for my neck, did a little adjustment on my back. I don't think he did more than two things. He retested all those muscles that were goofy before when his assistant did them. And I felt this empowerment and vitality surging through my body, and every single muscle was like, it didn't matter how hard he could push, they were there. And I'm like, la la la, when are you going to start pushing? And it was only later on. Well, in that first session, I went, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I absolutely lit up, except it wasn't going to happen right away because I was living near equivalent to Alaska at that time. I wasn't in a place to learn the stuff. I moved to the big city and I find out that there's lay people courses on this, layperson courses, and I fell in a rabbit hole. And I studied deep, I studied wide, and I absolutely adore to watch people's eyeballs light up like my first experience and go, what just happened? And not only that, that when we get the muscles balanced from one side to the other, when we tune them, I went out and got a trademark for that, muscle tuner, and I train specialists to do this. When muscles are tuned, your pain can go away that you've been carrying for ages. And a lot of therapists will work here, say if you're listening to this, I'm pointing to my right shoulder. They'll work there because you're going, it hurts here. But that's often not where the problem comes. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had to work on a lower leg muscle or a hip muscle. And when we get that balance, all of a sudden they go, wow. All right. Or there are very, very specific attentive things that a lot of therapists know about physiology, but haven't learned to harness and apply. And I've just got miracle stories from people who studied with me going, whoa, it works. So that just feeds my soul. I really, truly feel my mission is to help people relieve pain. And instead of me doing this just myself in my clinic, I'm about training people to do what I do and to teach them in a way more distilled, concentrated, effective, and efficient way to get all the basics to get home run results. And then they can go off and start exploring all these different avenues. And I'm happy to mentor them and suggest they go off and study, another system or with another instructor, or how to apply the tools they've got to their, whether they are a physiotherapist, a fitness trainer, a reflexologist. Um, I came with a background, basically, I was an executive assistant. And I didn't know anything about wellness. Like I told you, I didn't have the first thing to know about health. So that's why I do it. That's what Muscle Tuners does. It trains you, we mentor you, and we license you to advertise yourself in a way that people go, oh, I could use some muscles. I could use some tuning up. So that's it in a nutshell.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really like that. So you experienced it yourself first. What was it like the first person that you were able to kind of bring that kind of relief to? I mean, do you have a story there, or was it like, oh, this isn't just a me thing?
Oh, heck. I have one I pull out for all my beginner students. And a common challenge is people don't have the confidence to do this. And I was learning this when my kids were in elementary school. And one day, Chris wasn't there. Anyway, what's up with Chris? How come we haven't seen her for a few days? And they went, oh, she's in the hospital. She's had this big bowel resectioning surgery. And I'm going, ooh, doesn't sound so good. I've got a kind of a free day. Let me go visit. And, she's been there for a while. She's probably cooped up. So I went and said hi. And I did tiny little bit of energy work. And the nurse came in and went, wait a minute, what just happened? Because the fever you've had for 4 days is gone. It was like full force an hour ago when I came and checked on you. What happened? And she looked at me and I said, when you get out, come and see me and I'll do a little bit of this stuff. I had training wheels on and I worked with her and felt like a failure because I could only find one system to wake up. Now, what I didn't mention before is every muscle is connected to an organ or a gland. So when you get a muscle firing better, it's talking to your organs and letting them do their jobs without struggling. So it's fantastic for wellness and maintaining wellness, recovering wellness. So, anyways, I just like seeing her out the door and I'm shaking my head saying, I'm so sorry. I know it was a lot of effort for you to come over here. You're exhausted. I'm so sorry I couldn't do anything for you, really. Was it the next? No, it's 2 days later. She comes striding up to me, nose to nose in my face. And what did you do? And all the elementary school mothers are going, oh, Mrs. Cambiotti, what did you do? Ooh, right? And I says, I don't know. I just turned on your spleen meridian and like I didn't think I did much. Like, what happened? It's like, I'm so sorry. And she says, I don't know what the heck you did. She says, I went home, I had sleep the next morning. I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I went through my day. I had to rest a little bit when the kids came to get ready for their activities after school. I went to bed normal time and I've done like this, woke up this morning. What the hell did you do? And I'm going, well, what's the big deal? And she's going, I was sleeping 16 hours a day before I saw you. And when I was awake, I was good for nothing. And I went, oh. And so even though I felt like a failure and I was doing everything wrong, and she'd just gone through this big surgery, and I thought I should find more, her innate body wisdom told me this is the one thing. Focus on the one thing. She can handle this. Focus on that. I listened to the body. I did what it showed. And guess what? So I share that story with everybody who thinks that they're not offering very much in the world in whatever their skill is. Doesn't have to be muscle tuning. Do your best. Offer it with love. And wait, there's possibility of magic. I just happen to have been shown the magic reset button for her. And I teach people where to find magic reset buttons all over the place. And that It's so exciting when they get back to me or send me a video clip of what they're achieving. It is just amazing.
Yeah, people can be odd that way where they're like, I can only do a little bit of good, so maybe I won't do anything. Well, any kind of positive step forward is a positive step forward. You're better off than what you were before. So take that little step, because it just takes one domino to knock down the rest. So that's awesome. I really like that story. What are some mistakes, just more on the entrepreneur side, that you see people making? Like if you've been doing this, you've had some hard won lessons. What are some things that you kind of wish you would have knew earlier or would advise people earlier about?
Okay, so before I started a corporation to train people online, I tried to explain what I was doing, and I do something, frankly, that's very unusual. The average North American has no idea. Most people anywhere in the world going, what? How come I've never heard of it before? And I was trying to explain things a little too high level. So, whatever you are in entrepreneurship, keep it simple. Just keep it simple. And I had one instructor, and I'm thinking, he he's nuts. He says, whatever you do, just trick them any way you can to come in. Just get them in the door and then show them what you do because it's when they have the experience that they go, oh, and then just send people out. So you don't have to explain what I do because every session's different. Every client, regardless of where you are, what work you do, every client's unique, right? You're not cookie cutter. I'm sure who's reading or seeing, hearing this podcast, you're not cookie cutter. So just keep it simple, focus on the customer, give them what they want, and just keep everything real basic and let them have the experience, the magic of whatever it is your skill set is. So, and just go tell your friends, I don't know what they did, but wow, you just got to go and check them out. That was a real big mistake trying to explain rather than just say, come have an experience. And the other thing is when I started the corporation, I really should have had more marketing help from the get-go. That's a real biggie because I didn't know how to elicit a real clear message that I train wellness professionals to add to their toolkits to serve those clients that are really stuck, that they really want to help, but that nothing's working. And I also work with individuals to show them self-care techniques that they can apply in their own lives that will get them down the road and get them out of bed and feeling happier and being more productive. Like with Chris, uh, bringing her back at what that meant to her community, not only just herself and her family, but to her community. It's just brilliant. So always focus on the ripples you can make and just keep plugging away.
Okay. How about your average client? Do you have an avatar for your average client? Any pain points? Probably, in your case, probably literally pain points, but any areas where if people are dealing with this, you should absolutely have a conversation. They should have a conversation with you.
Okay, so great question. When we started, we were coached, get an avatar, have the avatar. We had an avatar in mind. It turned out we had the wrong one, really, really the wrong one. And the people we ended up attracting, I went through the exercise again and I went, who are my top star students? Who are the ones that I love showing up for in my weekly meeting calls? Who are the ones that are doing the work? And it turned out they were males. They were about not even a little younger than midlife, what would you want to call that? They were already in a business. They were really seeking new tools, but the common denominator pretty much across most of the people we were attracting were people who had injuries themselves, and they were looking for care for themselves so that they could have longer lasting careers. I was attracting massage therapists that were going to have to quit with all the study and knowledge that they had because their wrists, their shoulders, something had happened. They'd had an accident or they had overuse. Injuries happened because of work. So I really like attracting those people and serving them so that they can keep working in whatever turns their boat, right? Whether it's massage or physio or, uh, you know, energy work. That's really, I'm just looking for people who want to know they're working in something that looks magical, but it is based in science, but are willing to work with the subtle energy patterns of the body, like the acupuncture meridian systems that everybody believes acupuncture works nowadays for most people. It's really common now. It's common now. It wasn't so common in the 70s. So I work with that too. So if you are looking to add something that way, or like who do you know out of your family, your friends, your colleagues, who could use this technique that you could do anywhere with no equipment? I've done it on ferries. I've done it in campgrounds. I have done it at somebody's kitchen table. I typically work in a clinic with a massage table, and I've worked on the side of sports fields. The thing is, I teach you how to use your hand. You bring a clipboard and some notes if you need cheat notes, and that's it. So, did I answer the question who the avatar is?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it leads me to my next question. Who's your average power partner? What do they look like?
Oh, my average power partner is somebody who already has a network of people who are looking for self-care techniques. So technically, my power partners are not training other wellness professionals, but they have communities who are looking to increase their vitality, to reduce their pain, to increase their focus and concentration, to increase their strength. You know, how many of us are walking around knowing we're suboptimal? We're not really operating at full potential. It's people like that that want to add value. So people like, for example, I've done this with fitness gyms, the owners of fitness gyms, to say, hey, let's bring Denise in on a Zoom to give you some techniques that you can do that will turbo boost what you do in the gym. That is one approach that I do. I can do those presentations also. Anybody that's got a wellness group and they want to focus on digestion, because I work with organs, I can show you some muscle tuning tricks for that. So it's somebody who has a need and a niche that they want to add value to this community that they have.
Okay. Well, more specifically then, I guess, what is one self-help method for clearing emotional stress?
A fabulous question. So, how many times have you seen somebody put their hand on their forehead like this and they're like, they're stressed? So, you can actually do that on purpose. And what they're doing is subconsciously activating these acupressure points right here between their eyebrow and their hairline, or where their natural hairline was when they had one, if you're one of those. Just touch them really, really, really lightly, like a little butterfly's landed there. And just think about the stress. And just imagine if that's gone, what would be different, and take a deep breath. And it usually takes about 30 seconds or so, maybe up to a minute. And you get this breath come. And I swear this is why my twins are still alive, because when they were young, I wanted to kill them once.
Yeah.
And I did this.
Yeah, I could see that. So this might be the same answer to this question, but what is a daily self-care technique people should try?
A daily self-care technique is waking up key master acupuncture points that make the messages in your right and left brain connect, the top and bottom of your brain, and the front and the back of your brain, and how your brain connects to your body for greater coordination and ease. So I'm just going to stand up very gently for a second. I'm putting a hand on my navel, and with my other hand, two fingers and a thumb spread like that. I follow just below my collarbone until I get into the muscle below the collarbone, and I activate it. I don't know if you can see me properly where I am. I just activate that gently for at least 20 seconds. And if you want, you can switch hands. Then that gets the right left, and then put fingers under your nose, like your thumb on your chin, and rub side to side like so, keeping a hand on your navel. This helps the messages go up and down in your brain. And then on your tailbone, very, very gently, near where your tailbone attaches to your sacrum, just give it a rub up and down, up and down, up and down. Take a breath, and that helps to wake up that brain body connection and reduce pain, increase coordination, tons of stuff.
Okay. How can you quickly relieve muscle tightness or discomfort using, simple at-home methods?
Okay, the best one I know that I get asked for in network events, tight up here, upper neck. So you turn and you'll see how far can you look easily one way, and then look the other way and notice if there's a little less flexibility on one side than the other. And then this is going to sound crazy, but you're going to do it because there's hundreds of acupressure points in your ears. And when your neck is turned, you're activating all kinds of postural reflexes that tell your muscles how tight to be. So when you turn your head, and I'm going to take my earbuds out. When you just unroll the flap of your ear and pull, unroll, and pull, unroll, and pull, and go all the way down to your earlobe, and you do that 3 to 5 times while your head is turned this way, and you do it when your head is turned the other way, it's phenomenal. And especially if you activate the ear on the side that you're turned to. So now you can't see me activate my left ear while my head is turned to the left. And you turn as far as you can go. And that will definitely cause a change when you go, ooh, and you recheck your head turn left and right. It literally takes a minute.
Yeah, awesome. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to add? Anything I failed to ask?
What's really exciting for me is I finally have created a space to teach people self-care techniques, and I call it your Reboot Blueprint. And I'm offering that starting February the 8th. It's on Saturdays at 9 a.m. You're going to drop a link probably in the show notes here, right? And you find it at my website, muscletuners.ca. You go look at the little navigation bar, go to programs, you will find it there. And that will guide people step by step by step, customized to the people who show up with an agenda that will do amazing amount of work that you can work for yourself and share with your family and friends. So that's something I'm really excited coming up in the new year. It's probably a good time to launch it February the 8th when everybody's New Year's resolutions have kind of gone by the wayside and they need a reboot and, to get reconnected and motivated to do something for their wellness. And that's basically what I've got going on right now.
Yeah, that's good timing, right? When everybody's like, okay, well, I might as well just give up on the whole year. Nope, here's another option. So,
Well, and let me say that somebody might be listening to this recording down the road. I intend to run those probably at least 4 times a year. So if February 8th has come and gone, check out the website anyways and see just what's happening there in the programs.
perfect. So outside of that in the website, what's the best way that people get a hold of you?
My current email address is Denise, Denise, at muscletuners with an S dot fit. I know it's a weird extension, but when we started, we thought we were exclusively going after fitness trainers.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Yeah, you have one thing and then you kind of grow bigger. That's kind of a good thing to have. So awesome. And I'll be sure, like you said, I'll put everything in the description so people don't have to hunt for any of this. It's going to be super easy to find. It's easier that way. If somebody's a little bit more shy and they prefer an introduction, feel free, ask me. I'm more than happy to make a direct introduction for you as well. Other than that, if anybody out there would like to, be a guest on the show or have a conversation with me, I'll have my link tree in the description below all of Denise's stuff as well. So feel free, reach me there. But I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time and explaining, kind of who you are, what you're doing with all of us. You're doing cool things, and I think more people need to hear about it. So let's all go out there, help people be healthier, and meet some more people. All right.
And I know a guy. Thank you for having me on.
And I know a guy, I know a gal. Thanks for coming.